Hello, welcome back to the next in our videos answering your fostering questions. Today we're going to be looking at the role of birth children when it comes to fostering. This month sees the celebration of Sons and Daughters Month by the Fostering Network. And they celebrate during this month the contribution that fostering children who are part of fostering families, sometimes birth children, sometimes adoptive children, but the contribution that they make to fostering. And I thought it would be good to look at some of the advantages of having children as part of your fostering partnership, if you like. Both for the child who is being looked after, but also for the children that are part of that fostering family. It's true that a lot of people begin fostering once their own children have flown the nest, or perhaps people haven't been able to or have chosen not to have children of their own and are sort of ready to contribute to raising other children who maybe haven't had the best start in life. But there are many people who want to foster alongside children that they still have living in the family home, and I'm one such person. When my husband and sons and I began fostering, my boys were 7 and 9, and they're now coming up for 10 and 12. And we really wanted them to feel a great sense of ownership around fostering. We wanted them very much to be part of it, to feel that they were making decisions, that fostering wasn't something that was happening to them, but it was something that they were going to be a part of. And so if you're interested in fostering alongside your birth children, I'd say there are a few things that are really important to bear in mind, and we'll look at those in a minute. What we found was really beneficial about having starting fostering whilst our children were still very much on the scene was that you've sort of got this ready-made modelling of how the family works. It can be really confusing for people coming into foster care to understand the dynamics of a family, the chemistry, how people talk to one another, what the rules are, and it can be quite uncomfortable to maybe have those really explicitly explained to you when you move in. This is how we do things. But actually to have that modelled by two younger children, to demonstrate, how we talk to one another, how we listen to one another sometimes, sort of what the rules are, who helps with what, those sorts of things don't need to be said when you've got children modelling that. Also, what we felt was that actually, children who are looked after are under a lot of scrutiny. And having other children in the house really allows that scrutiny to be diffused a little bit, so that it's not all about, what's going on with you and, what are you doing and what are you feeling and how are you there's a wider group, and that attention is sort of diffused across all members of the family, and I think that can help a child coming into the family to feel a little bit less on show and under the microscope. I think quite often children are much better at being relaxed and sort of offering the hand of friendship, as it were. They're not particularly worried how they're going to be judged. They have an ability to empathise. They are very adaptable, and I think they can be really important in helping fostered children to build relationships that are non-threatening and don't really require too much of them. And these are certainly things that we've seen within our family and in our experiences. I think as a foster carer, I've often watched my children and how they have been, how they've handled difficult times, how they've handled many of the issues that we faced with our child, and they just have an ability to take people as they find them. They're sort of on hand when our child has wanted to engage with them, and then they've been sort of hands off when that has been too much. And I think, you know, many of us foster carers could learn quite a lot from the way that children sort of naturally are. Nonetheless, obviously the impact of fostering is huge on everybody in a fostering family, and as a mother, as a parent, you were concerned about the impact of fostering on your children. So there are some key things that I would probably advise you look at. Firstly, make sure that whoever you're fostering through has really good support. We have a fantastic supervising social worker who spends regular time on their own with the children, talking to them, playing football with them, taking them out, really allowing them to be honest and open about how they feel, what decisions might need to be made, and really they are an important part of that, of the fostering family, and they need to be listened to and supported as much as the main carers. So make sure that whatever fostering provider you go through has the real capacity and understanding and desire to support your birth children in the equation. We really did our very best to make sure that our children felt part of the decision-making process, so they were involved at every stage of the application. They were spoken to, they were interviewed, we spent lots of times talking about the decisions, and they were very much part of it, and on an ongoing basis they're part of it within reason. It's helped them to feel ownership of the process. They don't sort of see me as a foster carer and them as incidental. We're a fostering family, and that's very important. I would also recommend that if there are social events with your fostering provider, days out, get your children along to those, to meet other children, to meet other carers, to meet other team members, to sort of realise that they're part of this greater community can be a really helpful thing. We found with our children that it's been overall a really fantastic experience for them. It's enabled them to really face some challenging situations. It's helped with their resilience, but also it's helped them to look outside of themselves a little bit and to understand that we're all people with all sorts of needs, all sorts of situations, but fundamentally we're all human. And I've been astounded to see how quickly they've picked all of that up. So I'm babbling on. If you would like to foster, if you have birth children and you think it might stop you, it is possible, and it can be hugely beneficial. So do get in touch. We're holding an event in Peterborough, the details of which are on our events page on Facebook. We also hold regular drop-ins at our offices in East Bergholt, so do get in touch, and we hope to speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye.